works. There we go. 20 minutes away now from 80 on Kingfisher FM and the Spa Big Breakfast, and it's a very good morning to you, and delighted to have three climbers who are, well, we know climbing more and more these days because they're down at Valley Craig, and delighted to have John, Joe and Nick joining us live in studio. So good morning, boys. Welcome.
Morning.
Morning. Fresh from training, I no doubt, eh?
No, not this morning.
Not this morning. Okay, Joe, let's start with you. Tell us a little bit about, obviously we've seen bouldering in Olympics and the sport growing in it. Tell us what it is and what's lead climbing.
So bouldering is a short route, so it's around 4.5 meters high, and basically you get multiple of them in comp, and you want to see who gets the most out of them with the least amount of tries. Okay, so obviously have a time period for each one. Yeah,
so this is like sort of like an unusual rock face, and you've got to try and make your way in.
Yeah, so they set us a route for the thing, and you want to get it in this least amount of tries.
Okay, and lead climbing?
Lead is very similar. It's about, you got 6 minutes, and it's a tall wall. It's normally 15 meters, and you take your ropes up as you go, and you're clipping in. Okay, as you're going along. Then the other one is sort of the speed climbing. That's what we've heard before about the... Yeah, these two are the speed climbers.
Oh, next year. All right.
These two are the speed climbers.
Okay, well, let's stay with bouldering. Nick, how do you train for bouldering, eh? Thanks for showing off your guns yesterday, by the way, in studio.
No problem. So for bouldering, it's like, it depends what level you're at, but normally you've got like strength training, which can include like weights or going to the gym, just in general, like physical strength. Then you've also got to like your fingers and your hands. That's a big part. So you'll have finger strength training. It's such a niche thing.
How do you do finger strength training? Eh?
Yeah, so normally push-ups on your fingers. Maybe like a piece of wood with like a ledge on it, like maybe say a centimeter or a bit less, and then it's connected to a bunch of weights, and you basically sit there and almost like just shrug up your shoulders so that you're holding it on your fingers. And then you can do that for both hands, and then also like maybe pinching. So you've got like a few blocks, and it's connected to as many weights as what you're working with, and then you lift that up. So that is part of like the training. And then there's like different walls to use. Like there's what we call a spray wall, which is like just a wall with a bunch of different colored grips, every kind of grips, and basically you set your own routes, maybe like moves that you're struggling with, then you just set a route by eye, and then start climbing it on that wall.
I mean, those who've been to Valley Craig will actually know that, because if you pop in, there's like a number 1, 2, 3 route, you know, and that's bouldering.
Yeah, so that's bouldering. So we said at Valley Craig there's 18 a week, and 18 being the hardest, 1 being easiest.
Yeah. I got to 5. So by the way, how's your? Do you know the Thumb Wars game? Have you played the Thumb Wars game?
Yeah.
Is it pretty good? Huh? Is that training?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Is it?
But the thing is, like some people, they like
Thumb Wars. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. I declare Thumb War. Oh goodness, look how long your thumbs are. I've got tiny thumbs.
There you go.
Okay. So some serious thumb training going on here. Hey?
We're like 30 kilo thumbs.
Wow. Okay, let's go, John. So we've talked about bouldering, so that's what we're familiar with. Going through to Valley Craig, we see those there. Then what's the lead climbing? That's generally the climbing and putting the rope into the caribou, is it? Climbing as you go. And then of course speed climbing. So tell us about that one.
So speed climbing is the only pretty much
cool sport.
The only climbing side of it where there is a guaranteed route. Like there's the same worldwide.
Okay.
There's no, for competition, for lead and bouldering, they'll set random route. No one's ever
seen it before. Okay, so you don't have to go on a specific route.
So you can train it all year round on a specific wall. It's always the same height, always the same degree, always the same grips, always the same angle. It's like, it's very much memorization, muscle memory, you know, it's not so much,
Yeah, and it's speed. I mean, it's funny.
It's fast.
Hey? I mean, you train your whole life working around the clock for like 3 seconds. One slip and it's over. World Championship dream gone, hey? This is like the 100 meters of the Olympics.
Yes. So it also takes a different kind of training.
Yeah, I was going to imagine.
It becomes explosive power rather than shaking off. You can't really take it.
No thumb wars for you.
I mean, you can still.
You can still do it.
But also, it is nice though, because speed does. A lot of the muscles help directly into bouldering.
Yeah, bouldering.
Not so much lead, but they're very close. The only thing that speed you don't train really is finger strength, because your holds are a bit more buckety. Like bouldering is a lot smaller edges, but the both very powerful.
Yeah.
So they help. Bouldering is a bit more endurance because you're not running the wall in 4 seconds.
Yeah.
You're
Okay,
doing
so
like 4
so in
minutes.
terms of muscles, just I mean, obviously it's all your muscles, but big. I can imagine some big quads here, hey,
Yeah,
upper
so
legs. and
Speed
stuff.
climbing, doesn't really matter the weight. Bouldering, your weight is
Is a big factor
Yeah.
because you got to
Like,
hold it on your
the
fingertips.
lighter you
eh?
are, the better it is.
Yeah.
Speed, the stronger you are, the better it is.
All right. Okay, and we'll just write there more salad if I'm going to do bouldering. Got it. Okay. So John, how did you guys all connect? Is it through climbing that you all met?
So I met Joe when I was about 6 through homeschooling.
Okay.
So I went into homeschooling. My mom took me out of school, and
Put you on a wall.
that's when we met.
Yeah,
Yeah.
At like a science
Like
club.
a science club.
And
Yeah.
then you guys started
Yeah,
climbing
we
up the
just
wall.
started climbing as soon as the gym opened here. in
Yeah,
Valley.
and the gym.
Oh,
opens
Valley
so
Craig,
far.
eh?
Yeah.
And then I met Nick through my mom. My mom and his mom were friends from before we were born. So
Wow.
we were kind of
We go
born
way
kind
back,
of really,
yeah.
we
We go way back.
But we weren't
were-
actually
we were-
that close.
We were
Yeah.
close until I turned about we were like 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we linked up again.
And now you guys are
And then-
seeing every day.
And then he
Yeah,
brought
family.
Nick climbing. And that's how I met Nick. And I sat on the wall
And he
leading
laid
him
me on the
for hours.
No, I
For
didn't
hours. I didn't enjoy that. I didn't enjoy it. But I became good friends with him afterwards, so it's okay.
Okay. All right. So in all of this, World Championships came about. In the midst of all of this goofing off, climbing walls, strength training, all of a sudden this got serious at some point. So when did that happen, Nick?
So I think last year was the first year that Joe qualified for a youth world champs. Before that, we'd go to the nationals for fun, like we'd compete, but that just seemed like it wasn't really a part of it yet. We hadn't made that like connection that
Yes.
we would be able to do that. And then last year, Joe qualified. And so we got to witness his journey going to the youth worlds and seeing what he thought. And then when he came back, we decided that it would actually be a lot of fun if we could do this year
All
all
of us.
three.
All the World Champs.
So if we could all three do it, that would be awesome. And the plan was for John to go for speed, and for me to go for speed, and to Joe to go for boulder, because those were our
Strength, yeah.
strengths.
Yeah.
And yeah, we did it
And you've done it.
phenomenally
It worked.
Yeah.
somehow. And John and I also managed to qualify for boulder as well. So that's
Wow.
awesome. And yeah,
Where's the World Champs?
it's in Guiyang, China.
Guiyang, China.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, we've got rocks closer now if you guys want to climb.
It's gonna be pretty cool. though.
That's
So-
gonna be
To me,
awesome, eh?
it's cool because of the culture difference.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
It's not like going to Europe where your food is the same.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's nice to experience something completely different to where you're in. When you're
Yeah.
traveling, you want to experience something
Yeah.
completely different.
So I've had the privilege of traveling to China a few times. Just my little tip here: when you go to the KFC, there's no chips there. It's deep fried prawns
Wow,
instead of chips.
That's cool.
Eh?
that's
I'm
pretty
just
I'm
saying.
not sure what
eh?
I think about that, yeah.
We'll get you right. Don't worry, we'll get you right. Okay, so what an amazing journey. When is this happening, by the way?
In August.
This
yeah.
August, the World Championships. Okay, so this is following on from
It's
the
like
Olympics.
3 months.
3 months, yeah.
Yeah, our climbing coach, if he comes with us, he will get back for 2 weeks
I was
after
gonna say.
Olympics and then head off to China with us.
Yeah.
2
Wow,
weeks
that's
difference.
amazing. Huh? So in terms of just like, I mean, what's your daily routine like? I mean, how often are you training for this? Huh?
Well, we have like days in the week we will train.
Mhm.
Like Mondays, Tuesdays, maybe Thursdays on occasion.
Okay. And how many, like, couple hours? Or-
Maybe 2 to 3 hours a day.
Okay.
With mostly climbing. We'll just go for the fun of it and
Okay, so
test our bodies. Just
just yeah.
go for it.
Yeah. Fucking
Yeah,
climb
we're
up that
climbing.
building there, hey?
Yeah.
Yeah?
When we don't climbing, we get twitchy. We're like,
Yeah. What
maybe
can we do, huh?
What can we climb?
Were you like
Yeah.
2-year-olds climbing up the double bunk there, huh?
But we do other things, like we all sometimes cycle. So I sometimes do some weight training, we surf, like we get a lot of exercise in. We'll climb around about 5 times a week for about
Okay.
3 hours each session.
So are you basically training together all the time then? The
Most
three
of the
you?
time.
Most of the
Most
time.
of the time,
Okay,
yeah.
okay. So and Nick, in terms of just like representing your country now, this isn't just like Friday night, let's go climbing. This is like a big deal. It feels like another whole world that you're opening up here.
No, I think it was definitely like a shock. Like when we first qualified, I was like, yeah, it was like, no, awesome, going to World Champs. Didn't really think much of it, but then like the more people started saying like congratulations, well done, the more it kind of like settled in, like wow, like we're representing our country, and it means a lot because I think I love South Africa to bits. I think it's the most awesome country, and to be able to represent our people and our country, and to hopefully show some culture and what this is all about. It's like so exciting. I think it's a real privilege, and I'm super grateful that I was able to.
Awesome. And so Joe, just in terms of how do we support you guys? I mean, how are you getting there? I'm assuming you're fundraising and all sorts of things happening.
Yeah, we do have a thundafund link. It is on all of our Instagrams, as well as East Cape Climbing, I believe.
Yeah,
it is. So that is
Eastern
thundafund.
Cape Climbing on social media.
Yeah, on social media, on Instagram and all of that. And then also any sponsorship that we can do, whether it's a plane ticket to Cape Town to train more, or just help out an individual. But the thundafund does go to all three of us.
Yeah.
We split the money, and that helps us fly us up, as well as our climbing coach.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Rushka's also in studio with us. She'll give us some more details about how we can support you guys. John, just coming back to you. I mean, this just feels like you guys are pioneering. I mean, this whole thing for young people in our city as well. There seems to be quite a great excitement around climbing at the moment, eh?
I mean, it's grown a lot in the last 2 years, especially now that it's joined the Olympics. Like last Olympics, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we could all remember the speed climbing. We were all super excited. We just wanted to watch speed climbing.
Yeah, 4 years ago it was the first time it joined
Yeah.
the Olympics. First time it was aired worldwide. You know, it's grown in the like so much in the
It's
last
truly
6
exploded,
years, 4 years.
And I must just mention, I mean, I think listeners also don't understand that the facilities we have here are incredible, but they're not actually Olympic standard facilities. What we have here is I think was it only half the size of the wall or something that you can get for speed? Is it a third?
For speed climbing, it's a challenge. Our speed wall is only 1/3 of the
Distance.
IFSC qualified wall, which is the
International Federation of Sport Climbing.
Look at there's some tall buildings there I can see outside the window here. We're going to organize that.
It's quite pricey though, which is the problem.
We've
What,
looked
to
at
build a
like
building
the
or to-
towers and the buildings, and also problem is like the legal stuff on it. If someone hits the ground, then
Don't worry about that.
yeah.
We'll sort that out later.
But yeah, so our facilities are great, and we have made it work so far. But with speed climbing and also the grips, because climbing is somehow ridiculously expensive, and so the grips are pricey, and so the gyms that are more funded and have more members and things, they can afford the really nice grips that they use on the World Cup. Which is great practice actually.
Which is why you want to go to Cape Town. I think
Cape Town's facilities
our holds are not close to competition holds.
Yeah, we do truly have a fantastic gym. The fact that we even have one is amazing.
Yeah.
But just the price of the climbing holds, they're big. They're like, you can wrap your whole arms around them. That's the size of the world class holds. They're massive. And our holds are very small, so we, as East Cape climbers, have incredibly strong fingers, but we're not fully sure how to grab these massive holds. Yeah.
Well, we'll figure it out.
That's why we're going to Cape Town, because then we can get this incredible strength as well as be able to know how to use these big holds. Because knowing your holds really makes a big difference.
Hopefully in Cape Town before China. That's the
definitely.
idea. Okay. Listen, guys, thank you so much for your time. I mean, we're wishing you all the best. We're going to take a short break. Rush is going to chat to us a little bit about some of the details of how the listeners can support. But just quickly run through your personal Facebook pages, or how can we follow your personal story, or would you prefer we go through East Cape Climbing?
So you can go to East Cape Climbing. You will find all of us tagged on Instagram.
Cool.
But
the
so,
spring,
but then you can follow individual John Stucken Climbing. And then Joe's is Joey Johnson.
Joey Johnson Climbing.
And then Nicolaus Stewart.
So all of those will just
But
be
those
our
are tagged
personal
on the
page.
Eastern Cape.
So those will be tagged.
You'll
You'll
find
see
our faces.
videos and then they'll be tagged there.
Awesome. Yeah, awesome, guys.
Thank you so
wishing
much.
you all the best.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. Super grateful to be here.
Yeah, no, awesome. Listen, we're going to ask you just to leave outside that window. It's 3 stories up, so if you can just go down the pipe there, that would be great.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. Yeah, thanks so much for
Perfect. All right, stay with us, folks. We're going to hear from Rushka in a moment just to tell us a little bit more of how we can support. Stay with us.